Coming to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios, this is The Barbershop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
What's up, everybody? It's the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. My name is Terry Hollimon, a.k.a. T. Holla.
And yes, it is Marcus Trufant.
You got to give yourself the big one this time, huh? It's been a minute since we've had you back in the building. Welcome back to reality, Marcus. We're glad to have you back in the shop.
Feeling good, man. It feels good to be back in the building, T.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, man. We definitely going to talk about where you've been and what you've been doing, man, because it's been a minute. Last week we had to do the show without Marcus. He was in another city, in another state, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. There's lots been going on in the last 7 days, true, and, we don't want to waste any time. We're going to get straight to it, man. But you know what day it is, right?
What day, T?
It's Hump Day, baby. And Hump Day means it's Wednesday. It's a little bit close to Friday. It's Barbershop Day. Thank everybody for joining us, whether you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, which you can get on your smartphone for free. Mm-hmm. Listening to us around the world, or are you right here in the greater Northwest listening to us on 950 AM? Thank you all for being here with us. True, man, you were in Las Vegas, Nevada over the weekend, man. That's why we couldn't. Wait a minute, last week you were actually, take this back, you were in New York. That's why you weren't on the show.
Right.
You even forget where you're at.
Hey, baby, I'm city to city. I'm living for the city. Yeah.
I feel you, man. So you were in New York. Mm-hmm. Explain to the people what you were doing in New York, why you could not be here with your man T. Holla last week.
Well, yes, I was in New York, man. I've been working on this transition thing from the NFL. I talk about that all the time in business, and I'm looking to rebrand myself. So I was out there meeting with some marketing agents and just looking to meet some business people in general. And while I was out there, I got to get with one of my ex-teammates, one of my next-door neighbors, and one of my homeboys, Nate Burleson, who does the Good Morning Football show. So I had the pleasure to be on that show. It was great. It was big time. I was under the lights.
Big time, yeah.
I got to spend some time in the city, man, and it was great, man. I had a great experience out there.
Yeah, I got a chance to see the video clip. You look like you were real big time on me, man. You had your suit and tie on, man. You looked real official.
Hey, man, I had to clean up a little bit.
You trying to leave me? That's what you trying to do?
I couldn't get in front of the people. I would never leave you, brother.
You trying to leave me?
I would never be that.
Listen. Yeah. So you had a little time in New York, and you came back and got your feet wet back in the Northwest, and then you bounced right back and went to Las Vegas.
Right. Yes. My wife's birthday was this weekend. It was on the 12th. And I'm not going to say her age. She might not like me to do that, but she said it all over
she sure did.
The airwaves, Facebooks, and such. She turned 35.
Ah.
And the story was we did her 30th out there a few years ago, and we had about 25 people in our group. And maybe even more. Mm-hmm. So we kind of try to do it like that again.
Try to step it up.
Not as many people made it. It wasn't as turned up. It was still turned, but, everybody's a couple years older. Personally, I couldn't do the same stuff I was doing before. My theme of the
trip. Dare
we
ask you what you did before?
My theme of the trip was that I'm coming in hot. Everywhere I go.
Please explain what that means.
Everywhere I go, I'm going to the pool parties. I'm going to the nightclubs. I'm coming in hot. I'm going to dinner. I'm wasting no time. I'm turning up as soon as I get there. That kind of took its toll on me a little bit, and it caught up with me, and I had to chill out for a little bit.
What? Wait a minute. So you did
old man?
Did you do Old Man Vegas? You did Old Man Vegas. You came in hot. Started out strong.
Stallion strong. But I had a little rest, but then I bounced back, man. It was a great trip. I know my wife, she really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed everybody that came in. Thanks to everybody who came to celebrate with us, and it was a great time. Good,
man. Glad you're back. Glad you made it back in one piece in your old man status. But you know what? There's one thing I wanted to also bring up, and, a couple weeks ago when we were on air, you kind of let the cat out of the bag about something that you were doing, a lifestyle change you were making, Marcus. And, I've kind of been making light of it. I'm having a little fun with it, and the listeners have been having fun with it, following you on your journey. For those of you who weren't aware, Marcus, a few weeks, 3-4 weeks now?
A little over a month now.
Okay. Well, there you go. A little bit over a month. Mm-hmm. Marcus made a lifestyle change, ladies and gentlemen. he made a lifestyle change and decided to become a vegan. No more meat. You spend a lifetime of eating meat and doing all that stuff, and suddenly decided after watching the Netflix special, What the Health?
That was just a piece of it, though. Don't make it seem like that's the only reason.
It inspired you to just
Right.
go on and
True.
get on and do it, right?
Inspired me to do more research, and after doing my research, I figured this was the best way to go for me and my family.
Yeah, and you were trying to tell me, T, you gotta watch, man.
Right.
When you watch it, man, it's gonna change your life, man. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
But you have been gearing up for your Vegas trip for one, and
Right.
just look, I'm gonna live this new lifestyle. Tell us how far you've come on this journey and where you are in your life as a vegan.
Well, it's been great, T. I played in the National Football League for.
It's been great.
It's been great. I played in the National Football League for 10 years, so my back is toe up. I had a couple herniated discs, so I'm down in weight now. So
Wait.
after going
I
this.
broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or
Well,
what portion?
Spinal.
Spinal, right?
Yeah.
right,
So
right,
you
right.
now, so being a vegan has helped
Yeah.
your spinal.
It's helped my back because I'm down in weight. I'm down about 10 to 12 pounds. I was
Wow.
heavier than I had ever been. It wasn't a nasty heavy though. I was swole. I was top heavy, but now that I've been doing this vegan thing, I'm lighter. I'm feeling better, man. I'm able to get out of bed easier. I can pick up my kids easier. And so I just think it's been better all the way around, man. I'm feeling healthier. I'm feeling good. And I know what you're going to get to. I mean,
How do you know what I'm gonna get to?
I'm just saying, I've been putting my best foot forward. So I've been great. But, ain't nobody perfect but Jesus.
That's
T.
right.
So-
Everybody falls short of the glory. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Exactly.
Okay, well, that leads to my next point. Because earlier today, as we walked in the studio and we were preparing for the show,
Right.
I was here early, like I normally am, and you were on Marcus time.
Okay.
But you came in with, before you even got to the room, the waft, the aroma preceded you through the door.
Right.
And you came in, and it was, maybe you were listening to Softy. And Softy, he talks about his taco time.
Okay.
Because you came in and you had a taco time on deck.
Right.
And I'm trying to think in my head, what on the menu at taco time is vegan?
Well, the funny thing is, though, that you can go to Taco Time. You can get you a taco, and you can get you some beans, minus the cheese, minus the sour cream, and a little bit of salsa. And that's, I think that passes for vegan.
Is that what you did?
Not today, not exactly, but, I had a light, I didn't have breakfast. I was rushing, and I had a light lunch. But
Because we were at
the
Seahawks practice today.
Yes, we were. And that was early for me. I'm
Right.
I'm still kind of trying to recover from my great, weekend. So today's Wednesday. I know I got back on Monday, but as you get up in age, it takes a little longer. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So you'll be back vegan tomorrow is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I'll be back vegan tonight for dinner.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to keep Marcus Trufant's feet to the fire when it comes to this, because I don't want him to fall short of the glory. He's been doing so well thus far. I told him the other day his shape it's better than game ready, better than fight ready. He has the build of a 14-year-old boy.
Oh God.
That's
God.
no, for real though. You look cut, man. You look very healthy, and I'm really here. And the reason why I'm giving him a hard time is because I would never do it. I'll take that back. I'm not gonna say I would never do it, but I love here. So Marcus told me about this Netflix program, What the Health. I just want to share a story with you guys listening. He told me about this show. He said, Terry, if you watch it, you're probably not going to eat meat again, T. I'm telling you, meat is nasty when you watch it. I was like, yeah, that's why I'm never, ever going to watch it, because I love meat. So this past weekend, my brother comes by the house. He comes to the house with all his kids, right? And they like, what you making for breakfast? So I was like, all right, I'll go in this kitchen and make some breakfast, right? As I'm in the kitchen, my brother is in there flipping around on the TV. He cuts on the Netflix, and he starts watching What the Health. And she's like, T, you got to come watch this, man. Come watch this, bro. I was like, nah, I'm not really about to come watch that right now. And so, long story short, I end up, I'm about to get real ebonic on it right there. I ends up finishing with the breakfast, right? Making the breakfast. I go in the living room to watch What the Health as they are telling me how bacon and pork and chicken will end your life and how nasty it is and how through the processing it has feces and germs
Blah,
and
blah, blah.
all these
And all
things
this-
that will cause cancer.
And the system of how it's set up with the health care versus the food and all that, it blows your mind, T.
Yeah, it does blow your mind. But here's my point, and this is what I want to let everybody out there listening to the barbershop understand about T. Holland. I watched this program, What the Health, that told me exactly how much bacon was going to end my life and chicken products and milk and all that stuff was going to shorten my life and I'm going to be a product of the system and all that. As I was eating bacon,
Shameful.
sausage and egg scramble with the cheese sprinkled in there. You know, I did throw a couple of bell peppers and onions in
So
there.
you was one of those kids that your parents tell you, don't go down there because you're going to hurt yourself. And you, of course, would go down there and you didn't believe them until you hurt yourself, right?
Pretty much, man. Because, you got to try it out from time to time. I got to find out for myself if this bacon is going to kill me because the bacon is delicious. I'm sorry. It's just delicious. And the bacon is delicious. Everybody out there that's listening, you know bacon is delicious. Hit us here, 49451. Tell us how delicious bacon is to you. And if somebody told you had to do without bacon, could you do it? Could you do it? Marcus has done it. Marcus has the fortitude, the testicular fortitude.
Oh, nice.
To lay off of the bacon. T.
Yes,
Holland
sir.
can't do it yet. We want to hear from you guys out there in Seattle and around the world. 49451. Matter of fact, we want to hear about whatever is on your mind tonight. We're going to have some fun, but we're also going to talk about some serious things tonight. Ezekiel Elliott, the Dallas Cowboys superstar running back, is in the news because he's not going to be playing. We're definitely going to talk about that. Marcus and I stopped by the Seahawks practice at the VMAC today. Lots of good stuff to talk about that happened out there over the last 7 days with those Seahawks. And tonight we're going to have a very special guest joining us in the shop. It's Mama Lynch. Marshawn Lynch's mother is going to join us to talk about how Marshawn is fitting in out there in Oakland. You're only going to get it here in the barbershop on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Kimmy Klein with a check on the drive. We had a crash in Shoreline North 5 at 145th, blocking several lanes. They managed to move it off to the right shoulder, but it did jam up the drive from Northgate up to the scene. South 5 is still heavy from 85th Street into downtown Seattle. South End 405 still takes about 35 minutes, Bellevue to Renton. And North 95 approaching Highway 18, a rollover accident blocks your right lane. This report brought to you by Swinomish Casino. Dine with them in the comforting atmosphere of 13 Moons Restaurant at Swinomish Casino and Lodge, which features a menu bursting with delectable entrees, giving you a signature taste of the Pacific Northwest. That's your Sports Radio.
Drums, please.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holland. It's true. In the city of Seattle, it's about 7:45, 7:46. I'm ahead of myself. I felt like that's 6:46. I don't even know how to tell time. True. How they let me on the radio? I don't even know how to tell time.
Hey, we got to slow this thing down, baby.
Yeah, I'm doing too much. You know why it is? You know what the problem is? 'Cause I started off the show wrong. My buttons weren't right. DJ Nate back there we got a new DJ on the board, man.
Nathaniel.
Old Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
You know, we lost Adam Lowhead. He's on hiatus right now, just out of the picture. And DJ Nathaniel didn't have my board right, man. I'm blaming it on you. That's why I could not get the show off on the right foot. So, in order to get the show back off on the right foot, and for me to know the time and the day and whatnot, I got to do it the right way, True.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
That's right. It's hump day.
Hump day.
Barbershop day. I get the time and the day right. We good to go, man. True. Listen, we talked earlier in the last segment about Marcus and his new vegan lifestyle and the fact that, he watched the Netflix movie documentary, What the Health, and it has changed his life, and he is now living a new life without meat. Fish are his friend. He doesn't eat the animals. He hugs and loves them.
Yes,
And
sir.
we talked about it in the last segment, how you don't eat bacon anymore. And we sent it out to the people out there in the city that are listening to the show right now and let us know how they feel about bacon. 49451, the texts have been coming in at a rapid pace. True? The 206 wants to know, what's wrong with bacon?
Oh,
What's wrong with bacon?
You got to forgive them. They know not what they do, brother.
They must know. Let me tell you why they know. Because somebody else on the 206 wanted to let us know that my grandpa ate bacon at least once a week for every week of his life and lived to be 92 years old.
Okay.
His baby sister lived to be 102, and she
Okay.
probably ate more bacon than he did.
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling you true. Not only are you doing your mouth a disservice by depriving it of delicious swine, but you are doing your overall health a disservice. You want to live to 102? Eat bacon once a week.
Well, like I said, everybody's different. I'm a true testimony that
True.
at this time I'm feeling better. And I think it's because I changed my diet. And I'm not knocking nobody that eats bacon because that may work for you.
Right.
Everybody's different. Everybody got a different thing going on down on the inside.
Right on the inside. But here, that's the thing, though, True. You never really know what's going on inside. You might feel great. I've known people who would run 5 miles a day. Great shape, great health, eat a healthy diet with the proper amount of grains and vegetables and fibers. And they drop dead at ages of 30, mid-30s. And you never know. And I know people who will eat a pound cake every other day. And you can't kill them. Like them. I got a friend right now.
You don't know nobody that's eating pound cake every other day.
Damn near. I know. Listen, I hate to put my business out there in the street.
I know
hate
you
to
do.
put my business out there in the street, but I know people who eat like straight junk food, fast food for every single meal, drink alcohol every single day, like not just a sip, full stone, laying on the ground, drunk, dead on the sidewalk, alcohol. And they won't die. Like they won't die. Like they like a roach. You ever try? I'm telling people, you can't kill a roach. You know what I'm saying? This brother's like a roach. And I'm just saying they still living. But I mean, if it works for you, True, I'm good with it, man.
It's just about giving yourself a chance. I'm not saying I'm better than nobody.
No, I'm not saying you.
That man that eat the pound cake every other day, hey, that's more power to him. But I'm
You
gonna play the odds game. I'm gonna play the odds game. So I would hope that the odds would be in my favor. And like I said, I feel better. So I may just be giving it gas. I might be hype off of it, but I think it's working for me.
All right, I'm not gonna. Hey, listen, we just gonna follow you, man. And again, hopefully you can inspire some people to live the healthy lifestyle like you. You never know. I might jump on the wagon one day too. Hey, listen, something that's been in the news, True, I wanted to talk about. Make sure we get everybody in the city chimed in. I want to hear your opinion on this subject too. Ezekiel Elliott, the superstar running back for the Dallas Cowboys, was suspended last week for 6 games, stemming from an alleged incident that took place during the week of July 16th, 2016, with his ex-girlfriend, Tiffany Thompson. Now, according to league sources, there is substantial and persuasive evidence supporting a finding that Elliott engaged in physical violence on multiple occasions during the week of July 16, 2016. That sounded real official the way I read that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because it is official. That's the official statement given by the National Football League, that they have substantial and persuasive evidence that says that he put his hands on his girlfriend. Now, here's the problem. Okay. They didn't even try him in a court of law. They didn't even file official charges in a court of law. No, the prosecutor said, no, we don't have any evidence here. There's no case here. There's nothing here. There's been a lot of he say, she say with this situation, and this thing has been ongoing for over 13 months. And again, like I said, no criminal charges have been found, but the NFL has found it within themselves to go ahead and issue this 6-game suspension. True. What's going on with the NFL? Are they overstepping their bounds in this situation with Ezekiel Elliott? Is he paying the price for other people's misdoings, or what is happening?
Well, I wish I knew all the facts of the report. I know there was all types of pages, 160 pages or something like that. So, I haven't read through the whole thing, but I think it should be, if you're not found guilty in the court of the law, why does the NFL able to I feel like they're overstepping their bounds, and that's just me personally. If you're that you got to follow the law, everybody has to follow the law. So that goes for people that are accused and then they're found innocent. Then you should just be innocent. I don't see where the NFL has to come in. Maybe they know something we don't know, but at the same time, again, he was found innocent. So what grounds do they have to stand on to give this man a 6-game suspension?
Yeah, it's basically really at this point, the NFL, they do have a lot of resources when it comes to digging up evidence and finding out stuff that, sometimes normal law officers can't find. Yourself firsthand, they have guys that work for the Seahawks that are able to go and research and do detective work and find out information. And obviously they found out something that they didn't like. But in my opinion, I think what we have here is a witch hunt. And I call it a witch hunt for this reason. First of all, there is never an excuse for a man to put his hands on a woman. If you put your hands on a woman, I think you deserve to be not just, not allowed to play football for a few games.
Yeah.
That's
need to go to jail.
You need to go to jail.
Absolutely.
You absolutely need to go to jail. But I think that just based on the recent history with the NFL, we talk about the Ray Rice incident. We talk about a number of different things that have happened. The Greg Hardy, where there's been evidence of domestic violence. And, maybe the NFL did not take the proper steps in its past. And now I think they're just kind of going overboard. And Roger Goodell, he's obviously not my favorite person in the world. He's probably not a lot of people who really love the game of football's favorite person in the world. And I think he's becoming the judge, jury, and the executioner in a lot of these cases, man. You look at some of the cases in recent history, and they're just whopping his players over their head with these charges. Now, we look at this case, and I called it a case of he say, she say, because Ezekiel has actually come out and said that there's been messages back and forth between him and his ex where she has said stuff like, who's going to believe you, Ezekiel? I'm a white woman, and you are a black athlete. You don't stand a chance. I mean, when you get evidence like that, that leads me to think maybe there's more to it. Maybe that we should do some more research into this situation. Maybe we should reserve judgment until we see the legal case play out.
Right.
And there's even more. And I'll read more to it here in a second, but I want to hear what you say about that.
Well, yeah, man, I'm just saying it's crazy because in a situation like this, you never most of the time you don't get the whole truth, and that's the unfortunate part about it. So maybe the NFL is just trying to discourage, but at the same time, like I said earlier, this man, you said that he didn't even go to court, right?
No, they didn't. He's not filed any charges against him in this case at all.
Not filed any charges, so I don't see what the deal is. And just like you said earlier, I want to repeat: there's no room in anybody's life for any type of domestic violence. You shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody. But in a situation like this, when there's not even any charges, I don't see where the NFL steps in and goes above the law and pulls out a suspension. I just don't see it. I don't get it.
Yeah, and this came out today. This was breaking news. Fresh from the NFL's 160-page report on the Ezekiel Elliott domestic violence case. They've obviously done their homework, and they've uncovered text messages. Now, again, we will reiterate, there is no instance in the world where we will say that it's okay for a man to put his hands on a woman, all right? But I will tell you this, and I'm not trying to besmirch this woman's name. I'm not trying to belittle her or say, listen, hey, her case doesn't have any merits. But I will tell you this. This has been placed in the evidence that the NFL has reviewed, True. Mm-hmm. Text messages. There was a series of text messages that this woman sent to her friend, and I want to read this to you, and I want to get your opinion out there, Seattle. 49451, let us know what you think about this entire Ezekiel Elliott case. But the text message goes like this. From the woman, Tiffany Thompson, it starts off with, what if I sold mine and Ezekiel Elliott's sex videos? And the friend replies with, we'd all be millionaires.
Wow.
We could blackmail him with that. To which she says, I want to, bro. The friend says, let's do it. Thompson replies with scared, then an expletive. Then the friend says, I'd be like, look, give me $10,000 or I'll just sell our sex videos for that amount. Me and my friends trying to go on vacation and get boob jobs.
Wow.
This is in the report that the NFL reviewed, and yet they still banged him with 6 games.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I can only imagine, T, that we definitely not getting the whole story. We're not getting all the details of it, but still, that's a red flag.
I gotta tell you, when I read this, True, you know what? It not only did this just sound so crazy to me. You know what it sounded like? It sounded like the woman she's in Get Out. We're watching the movie Get Out. Ezekiel is in the sunken place right now, man. This woman is never going to get a date again. If she ever thought about getting a date with a man, especially an athlete or anybody, it's gone down the tube. I'm sorry. And, again, I want to hear what you guys think out there, Seattle. 49451. He's appealing, obviously.
Right. Yep.
Will he win this appeal? Remains to be seen. We will see. And I just think it's unfortunate because he's just one of the bright young talents in the National Football League. You know, the position of running back has really gone sideways. And to see a guy like him who had an opportunity to really, be a guy be a 2,000-yard rusher and taking in 6 games away from it, it's rough. And it puts the Dallas Cowboys in a position where they're not really a contender without him. So we'll talk more about that when we come back. But after the break, guess who we got, True?
Who we got, T?
Mama Lynch. She's going to join us in the next hour. Yeah. But when we come back, we're definitely going to talk about those Seahawks that had a game against San Diego this past weekend. We're going to talk about the preseason camp that we went out to today and talk about who we like out there and maybe who is not looking so good. Only in the Barbershop when we come back on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Trufant Auto Detail is the right fit for anyone with a full schedule but appreciates a clean vehicle. Whether you're going to practice, going to close a deal, or just out on date night, a dirty car will only slow you down. Trufant Auto Detail was trusted by my hometown Seattle Seahawks to keep their cars in Pro Bowl shape. And you should too. Go ahead and book today at TrufantAutoDetail.com.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg.
What's up, cuz? It's the Barbershop, cuz. I had to get real West Coast gangster on you one time. It's the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and my man True. And we back in here like a G thing, True.
Yes, sir. Just like a G thing, baby.
Now, this is almost like one of the, I won't even say almost, this is one of my favorite summertime songs. Whenever I think about this, I always think about riding in the car, going to a barbecue.
Barbecue, most definitely barbecue.
Yes. We want to put y'all in that mood because that's what it's all about here. Give you that happy summertime fun vibe that you can only get here in the Barbershop with T and True. Having a lot of fun in here tonight, talking about the Seahawks football is what we're going to be talking about next. But before we get there, we want to say thank everybody for listening and giving us your feedback on Marcus Trufant's new vegan lifestyle. We're going to be following him throughout his progress as a vegan. And, the people out here are a little upset, True, that you turned your back on bacon, man.
I see, man. I'm reading the text board, and from the 253, they said, True cooped it on the no bacon thing. Man, that's tough, man. I'm just trying to do better, man. But this one from the 360, yo, True, turning your back on bacon because of what it might do to your health. What kind of healthy beverages did you consume in Las Vegas? Go Cubs. Come on, man. Well, there actually was this actual green drink that I did consume while I was out in Las Vegas.
You don't say.
I'm lying to the people. But like I said, I'm not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect but Jesus. So I said, I have my days where I slip. Yeah. And I slipped this weekend, but I'm back.
You back. You back and strong. And we're going to follow you, True. We're going to make sure you stay true.
All right.
You see how I did that?
Okay.
We're going to make sure you stay true to the vegan lifestyle. Hey, we went out and watched the Seahawks practice today. It was good to get out there at the VMAC, watch the guys flying around. They are back fresh off a victory against the San Diego Chargers, 48-7. They played down in Carson, California. I'm sure everybody got a chance to watch that beat down. It was the first time that this season the Seahawks got to go out there and bang it up against somebody else. Before we get into what happened out there, Troy, I want to let the people out there know from you firsthand, a guy who spent 10 years in the National Football League, what it's like to get out there for that first time and bang it up against somebody in a different uniform.
Oh, yeah, it's always good in the preseason. But as a team and as an organization, the preseason is about making it through healthy. Of course, you want to evaluate your new guys and you want to give your vets and your starters, just a little taste, and just make sure they're polished up and ready. But it's always good to go out there, man, and explode on somebody else and just enjoy the game, man, and play the game you've been playing since you was a little boy. It's great.
Yeah, and it's our first look at the guys. You know, the starters only played a couple series, and, you know, they got, 4 preseason games. So as it goes along, you'll get to see more and more of these guys every week. But it was good to see some of the old guys get out there, good to see the young guys and see who looks good and what might need improvement. Some of the things that jumped out at me, True, first off, was a guy that's true, near and dear to my heart. Casey Williams, UW Husky dog.
Mm-hmm.
He looked incredible, man. He had 119 yards with some amazing acrobatic catches. Like, he jumped out of this world to make some of these catches. It seemed like he and Javon Boykin were on the same page, absolutely. And I'm not surprised by it because we've seen this guy do that. I've been watching him since his high school days.
Right.
And, you know, he was all everything in high school. I think he was the top high school, prospect coming out of high school in the country. And he was a state champion in high jump, long jump, triple jump. So it wasn't surprising to me. But looking at some of the other receivers that are on the team, there's a lot of them.
Right.
There's a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
True. And I'm just trying to figure out which ones are going to be here when they end up with the 53-man roster. You got a guy like Casey Williams who's been around on the practice squad for a few years. Obviously, we know Doug Baldwin is a stalwart. He's a cornerstone of that receiver locker room. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
We get Lockett back in the fold this year. He, to me, is the number 2 receiver on this team. After that, you're looking at a Paul Richardson, in my opinion, who would probably be the next third best option as far as receiver on that team. And again, this is T. Holler's opinion.
Right, yeah, this is T. Holler's opinion, and I think you're looking at it in the right way, but I don't think that we can count out a guy like Kurtz. I know a lot of people, they've been saying that he's the odd man out, just how it looks, but I think you take a veteran guy like that, a guy that's made a lot of huge, big-time catches at the end of games and all types of stuff like that, and he has they're pretty sure hands too. So I think there's always a place for a guy like that you can go out on third down and he can go out and he can run those intermediate routes and he can make plays like that. So I think it's going to be very tough at the wide receiver position. And I like Paul Richardson. He's a guy that can go out and make the big play, of course. And it just got to be careful with the injuries with him. I know that he's been kind of been bitten by the injury bug, but man, it's tough. I'm glad I'm not in that position.
You don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, so a lot of these guys got a lot of good skill, man. So it's overall going to be a tough call.
Another position that is really got a logjam of players, man, is the running back room, man. The running back position is really stocked full of great running backs. And you look at the depth chart right now, we're talking about Eddie Lacy, Thomas Rawls, C.J. Prosise. And then you look at a guy like Alex Collins and then the young guy, Chris Carson. Now, to me, that is a guy that jumps out at you immediately. When you see him walk on the field, you think that's a player. He's built like a player. He's 6 foot, 220-plus pounds. He's pretty quick. He's really quick. Incredible vertical leap. When you see the guy, he can do it all. He can run, he can block, he can catch. I just don't see how they keep him off this team. I know, again, you look at the top 3 running backs. Those guys are going to be battling for the ball, for carries, as it is. Throwing in another guy like Collins and Carson, somebody can't make this team, True.
Somebody can't make the team, and I think what it comes down to, of course, when the running back room is stacked like that, it comes down to special teams. If you can do more than just go out there and play running back, if you could be an asset on special teams, that's how you make the team. If you're that, if you're that second guy, if you're that third guy, you have to be able to play on special teams. You got to go out there. You got to blow up the wedge. You got to cause fumbles. You got to do all types of stuff. So that's how you make the team in special teams. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
A lot of people ain't even looking at that way, but I think you have to.
And the same thing goes for the receiver position too, but particularly in the running back position, again, where there's such a log jam of guys that are really good and some guys that, that they paid some money to, those guys, believe it or not, are going to get their shots. They're going to get their opportunities to either to mess it up or show improve. My question to you guys out there listening in Seattle and around the world, we got all these running backs. Which one of them does not make this team? Because I think one of them is not going to make it. We got Eddie Lacy. We got Thomas Rawls. We got C.J. Prosise, Alex Collins, and Chris Carson, the young guy, the 7th-round draft pick that looks incredible out there. 49451. Text us here and let us know what you think about that running back situation for the Seattle Seahawks. One of the positions that actually looked very good this past weekend was the offensive line. And they have been, for the past couple of years, beleaguered. They've been the guys that everybody in Seattle has pointed to, the 12s and the fans, to say, hey, these guys are the Achilles heel of this football team. If we could just put together an offensive line, we'll be pretty good. And they actually looked pretty good this past weekend. And I know, a lot of people don't pay attention to the offensive line, but I do. And one of the reasons I pay attention to the offensive line is because I got a lot of friends that played up. As a running back, the offensive line becomes your friend.
Of course.
Man. And I'm an old running back, so they become your friends. And I got an old friend who was a great offensive lineman. They picked him up at the University of Washington back in my day before I got there. He was out of Long Park, California. Big guy, big Don Willis. He spent a lot of years in the National Football League pushing people around as well. And I know he got an opportunity to spend this entire preseason up until this last weekend coaching the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. And we had the opportunity to speak to him tonight. Don Willis joining us from California. What's up, Big Don?
What's going on, T? What's going on, True?
I'm all right, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Y'all got me out of a meeting I don't want to be in. So I'm good.
What kind of meeting you got going on, man? Before we get started on talking about your time here with the Seahawks this past week, the past couple of weeks, what kind of meeting do you got going on? Tell them.
All of our student athletes are in a meeting about not a good topic, but sexual assault, rape, blah, 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 blah. And I don't say blah, blah, blah because it's not important. I'm just saying blah, blah, blah because I've been here since 6, and I'm ready to go to the crib.
Ready to get on out of there. Now, where are you coaching at right now, Don?
Right now I'm at Santa Barbara City College, so I'm doing JUCO. I got the opportunity to participate in the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. Having a relationship with John Snyder, who was in Kansas City. He was a driving force bringing me there. Carl Smith was my OC when I was in New Orleans. So I got a lot of contacts up there. And so, yeah, I was blessed. I was lucky to be able to spend these last couple of weeks up there and see, you hear about how the Seahawks are out in public, but until you see it and witness it from the inside, bro, you have no clue.
Now, Don,
there's a reason there's –
Don, you and I were talking. Online just a week or so ago, and that's the reason why I wanted to have you on our show here tonight. And because a lot of people don't get an opportunity to see what goes on in those meeting rooms and what happens on the field down in the trenches. And you got a chance to go and see it and experience it firsthand. And you came back and you said, as a Seahawks fan, you guys need to appreciate what you have up there. There's nothing like it in the entire National Football League. Please explain to us what that means.
What I mean is, and first off, let me say, I'm not an apologist for anybody. Okay. But what I will say is that offensive staff is the most put together, working together that I've ever seen through my 10 years of playing.
Wow.
And when I hear people getting on Bevel and Pete and whoever else they're getting on, it bugs me to no end because I know the work that's going in. Okay, and that's where I say Seattle as a fan base, the 12s need to appreciate what they have. Now, here's the deal. They're going to hit rough spots in the road.
Right.
That's the nature of
professional football.
It is. People don't understand how hard it is to win an NFL game. It is tough sledding. Mm-hmm. And the staff that they have up there, that offensive line room has improved. I don't know if you watched George Fant this weekend, but he dominated.
Yes,
he dominated. He is not the George Fant from last year.
Right. No more basketball. No more basketball. He's a football player now.
Exactly. That room has improved. Coach Cable look, man, I'm doing everything I can to continue to learn under him in the next few years. Okay. Coach Cable knows his stuff. And from day one, my eyes were open. And if anybody can get that room to turn around, it's Coach Cable.
All right. So I want to talk about you just said that the people of Seattle, they need to pretty much be thankful for what's going on over there. And being a part of that team is like nothing you've ever seen in your 10 years. So what I want to say is I call it that everybody is drinking the Kool-Aid. The whole team,
Right.
the whole building. I'm talking about the cooks, down to the janitors, down to the doctors. Everybody is speaking the same language. And there's nothing that I'd ever seen either. I played for previous coaches with the Seahawks organization. So what's that like as a coach, as you being a coach at a different program? Just how does that make you feel to see something like that?
Look, man, I started with the Seahawks in 1995. We weren't in the running for anything, okay? Okay, but here's the deal. Everyone in that building in Redmond, everyone in that building is nothing but Seahawk. Everyone. And like you said, True, cooks, janitors, boom. Everybody is about the Seahawks and about the mission of winning an NFL championship. And now I'm talking about secretaries. I'm talking everybody. You walk in that building, and you guys know the I'm in sign, right? In front of the meeting rooms,
right.
out to the practice field. Dude, anybody that walks on that field, I don't care if they're a trainer, if they're too short, they try to tap that sign.
Right.
So when it says I'm in, everybody's in. And that's how you become successful.
Hey,
He has created a culture up there that is unlike anything else. And my only knock, because I'm on the Facebook Barbershop page, is when things go bad, and I know it's human nature. Things go bad, everybody wants to blame everybody, right?
Yes.
But here's the deal. They're going to overcome things. They will overcome. That's their nature. That's how they're built. Bro, I ain't never seen a practice go like their practices go. I'm telling you, if I was still playing, I'd have to get myself
definitely be
together,
somewhere you want to
bro.
be there. I agree. I feel the same way every time that I'm out there, Don. Hey, listen, we are talking to Don Willis, a 10-year NFL veteran. Don, we got to get out of here and go to commercial, man. But before we do, I just want to ask you two last questions as we get out of here, man. How do you think this Seahawks team finishes off this year? Are they a playoff team, number one? And number two, are our dogs going to the national championship again this year?
Look, here's the deal. The Seahawks should definitely be in the hunt for an NFL championship. Off top, have no problem saying that. And my dogs, look, man, our dogs, right?
Yes.
They're on a roll, man. And hey, easy, Coog. It's okay.
Easy.
Okay. Hey, they're on a roll, and all they got to do is keep the train running. Now, I will say, SC is going to be a challenge, man. Sam Darnold is a damn good quarterback.
Yes.
All right, and they're going to have a good team, but I got faith in my dogs.
Well, hey, look, I'm looking for a great year of football. I'm looking for a great year of conversations on the Barbershop page, and I'm looking forward to keeping up with you, Don. We're going to chime in and check out how your season is going on later on this year. Cool?
No worries at all, man. Anytime, let me know.
Right on. Thank you, Don. Hey, that was Don Willis, 10-year NFL vet, coach down there at Santa Clara University, at City College, at Santa Barbara City College. That's right. We'll check back in with him as the year goes on. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk Michael Bennett and his decision to sit down during the national anthem, and we're going to talk to Sunshine Lynch, a.k.a. Mama Lynch, a.k.a. Marshawn Lynch's mom, only in the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Paul Sevilla. Check out his work at pseville.com. That's PSEVILL.com. You can also see his work on the Barbershop social media.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Hall. I got my man True in the building with me. It's 7:30 on a beautiful summer Seattle night. Not California like the song says, but we'll take it anyway. This song always puts us in a summer mood.
Hey.
Yeah, we're having a little fun here. Hope you guys are having fun listening to us tonight. True, I wanted to talk to you about this subject. It's been on the minds of a lot of 12s and really a lot of people in the country right now. It was crazy because, when I decided that I wanted to, talk to you about this tonight on the show, I wasn't aware that Michael Bennett was actually going to be on CNN. So after we left practice today, we watched practice, hung out there, saw everybody, and did our thing. I had to go home because I left my notes. So I went home and I turned on the TV real quick, and sure enough, there is Michael Bennett out there at the VMAC being interviewed on CNN. Now, you might wonder, why would a football player, a big, giant defensive lineman of all things out of Seattle, be interviewed by CNN about issues with the society, issues with race, issues with certain things? Well, unless you've been in a cave or under a rock or hiding out somewhere, you would probably know that Michael Bennett has decided to take a seat during the national anthem for the rest of the 2017 football season in order to bring awareness to a number of injustices that he finds to still be prevalent in the United States of America. Now, he was on record by saying, "I hope that I can activate everybody to get off their hands and feet and go out into the communities and push helping each other." Now, what I found interesting about Michael Bennett and his decision to sit during the national anthem is that he actually said that, "I'm not doing this to disrespect the flag. I'm not doing this to disrespect the men and women of the armed services.
Right.
I'm doing this to bring awareness to certain injustices that he still finds to be prevalent in the United States." So my question is, how does anyone have a problem with it? And before we get into this, True, before I get your answer, earlier today, Marcus and I were out at the Seahawks practice at VMAC.
Right.
And we got a chance to talk to some of the fans and the people that were out there and get their opinion on Michael Bennett and his decision to sit during the national anthem this season. And you know, we talked to probably 6 or 7 different fans out there.
Right.
And to a man and to a woman, because we talked to men and women. And we talked to black fans, we talked to white fans, and we talked to old, and we talked to young. And to a person, each one of them said they do not have a problem with Michael Bennett taking a seat through the national anthem. So my question is to you, what is the issue? Why do some people seem to have a problem with this?
I think it's one of those things, and this is just me speaking, T. So you know, without going into all of the details, or at least knowing all the details of exactly what Mike said and what he's doing, I think it's bigger than that situation. And he made it clear that he's not trying to disrespect, but he's bringing awareness to an issue that is here in America that people are talking about disrespecting the flag and what it stands for. But the stuff that's going on in this country right now shouldn't be what this country is standing for, and that should be more important than a disrespect thing. You got to fix the issues first if you want everybody to stand for that and stand for exactly what the flag is supposed to be for.
Right. And again, and I want to hear from the people out there in Seattle and around the country listening to us. 49451, text us here at the studio. Let us know what you think about the situation. Michael Bennett deciding to sit for the national anthem for the remainder of the 2017 football season. Now, again, it's in support of what happened with Colin Kaepernick last year. And I think it's very important to note, again, that Michael Bennett said, "I'm not doing this to disrespect the flag. I'm not doing this to disrespect the men and women who fought and died in the armed services to protect what this flag stands for." But I think that it's important for us to have these conversations about so many different injustices that are taking place in the country, whether it be women's rights, whether it be minority rights, black rights, the Black Lives Matters, or police brutality, just all sorts of different injustices that he himself is standing up for, so that we can have these conversations. True.
Right. I want to ask you something, though, T. Do you think that Mike Bennett should have to make that disclaimer that he's not doing this to disrespect and all this kind of stuff? There is a lot of crazy stuff that's going on out here, so he wants to bring awareness to that. Why should he have to feel that he needs to make a disclaimer? Because to be honest, I don't really think he should, and I think it's unfortunate that it has to be that way.
Yeah, I don't think he should have to, and I think also it is unfortunate that he has to, but I also understand why he feels the need to go out and do it, because Colin Kaepernick did it, and he didn't voice the reasons why. He didn't come out in advance and explain the reasons why he was doing what he was doing, and he still kind of remains silent. He's just a man about his action. Whereas we know Mike Bennett likes to, tell. And I think it's important for him to not be ostracized so that people would, rather than just shun him without even hearing his message, they give him an opportunity.
Okay.
And now they probably, now you have an opportunity to either to follow what he says and say, listen, we're going to have these conversations, whether it be at work, in an office space, or online, or with your neighbors. Now people are talking about it because Michael Bennett decided to have a seat. Now, we know that Colin Kaepernick decided to take a knee last year. We know Michael Bennett is also taking a seat this season. Another guy who has decided to take a seat during the national anthem is Marshawn Lynch. Now, we know as Seattle fans, Marshawn is a guy who pretty much does what he wants to, when he wants to, how he wants to do it. And we found that it was, at least I found, I don't want to speak for you, True, that it was very cool to see that he is taking a stand with his brother Michael Bennett and with Colin Kaepernick. And, I wanted to get, since I probably could not get Marshawn on the phone tonight, I wanted to talk to somebody who was just as close to Marshawn as anyone. So tonight, we have the pleasure of having Mama Lynch, a.k.a. Sunshine Lynch, joining us here in the barbershop. Mama Lynch, what is going on with you? What's up with you tonight?
How you doing?
We
How y'all doing?
We doing good. How are you this lovely evening?
You know what? I'm very blessed and highly favored. I can't complain.
Well, that's good. Listen, we want to jump right into it. And I know this is, I know it's probably been a tough transition, but we want to know how Marshawn is fitting in Oakland.
I can tell you it's home. And when I went to the training camp, he looked to be happy, fitting right in. So, Marshawn is that type of cat anyway. He's a good guy, and he'll make friends, and, he's a cool locker room person. So he's fitting on in, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. That's his hometown. So, of course, the people love him, the fans love him, and, of course, the team seems to be loving him already.
Right.
So, Mike, I want to jump right into this, a little bit of controversy before we get out of it, before we move on to some more cool stuff. Marshawn has decided to sit during the national anthem, and I just wanted to know from your perspective, from a mother, from somebody who's close to him, how does it feel when you see these negative things being said about your son online or in the media?
Oh, I go to, and he told me, he said, Mama, just please don't respond. He said, just leave it alone. I know my son is real strong, and as a mom, it's hard to kind of back down from that. When you're so used to defending him, you feel like that's just automatic, and you have to do that. But this case right here, I was with Colin when he did, what he did or whatever, and I had backed him up like, that's good. And then when I seen Marshawn, he on Conan, that little statement he said about, he'd rather see a man take a knee than stand up, put his arms up and still wind up dead and shot.
Right.
And it's just so much of it. As a mother, who wants to get that call? We're put on this earth. We're supposed to bury our parents. We're not supposed to bury our kids. Not supposed to we're not supposed to bury our kids.
Absolutely.
They're supposed to bury us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's heartening, but if you look at it, it's here. Charlotte is real, and somebody with a platform has to do something.
Absolutely.
I don't like the little backlashes that I get. Like I hear the Ray Lewis speaking, but I look at it like this. You've had your troubles too.
Ooh,
so don't go, point fingers when, look in your own backyard, so to speak.
I like it,
So
Mama
that's
Lynch.
my only thing. But it is a lot of people behind him, and of course I'm going to rock with my son.
Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say, Mama Lynch. It's true. What's going on, Mama?
How you doing?
Doing all right.
I'm on my way to Seattle tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
I had to tell my mama you're coming out here. I'll let her know.
Tell her I'm coming. I'm going to see her because she's going to Ocean Shores.
Right,
We're going to talk about that before we get off.
Right.
But
yeah.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the unity. You talked about that it's a lot of people that's kind of riding with Marshawn. So I wanted to know kind of what that looks like, or do you see potentially any of his teammates kind of riding with him in this next wave and maybe taking a stand with him?
I to me, in the way I look at it, and I hope since it already happened, I don't want it to continue because I don't want to keep the eye going or the conversation going throughout the season. I just think that by them doing that this game, and it shows something. You got someone's attention, so now just continue on with the the attention that you got, because now they know that you will do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. I don't want to see it, but I mean, everybody is their own individual. So what like Michael Bennett. I'm just happy that he's telling the reason why, but we know my son.
Absolutely.
If he say that he's doing it for this reason, that he feels like the media will turn it around and say he's doing it for that reason. So we know Marshawn is Marshawn.
Well, absolutely. I just want you to know, and I want Marshawn to know that the barbershop is absolutely rocking with him. We roll with him because, we know how he
That's
gets
why
down.
we love y'all.
That's right. We are talking
You let me post my stuff and my pictures in the barbershop. Where else can you go, baby?
You know it's
Barbershop is what's happening.
We are talking to Sunshine Lynch, a.k.a. Mama Lynch, Marshawn Lynch's mother. Hey, before we get out of here, Sunshine, we want to know, you are coming back to Seattle. You're going to have a bond with Seattle forever and ever and ever. But you are coming back to town tomorrow. What's going on?
We're going to Ocean Shores. This will be my 3rd year.
Now,
I must be doing something right because they keep inviting me back.
Now, you guys are doing an appearance with the moms, right?
I am, with all the moms.
So who else is going to be there? Mom, obviously, Mama Lynch.
Mama Lynch, Mama Bennett, Mama Sherman, Mama Thomas, the Lockett, Mama Trufant.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey!
So you guys will be out at Ocean Shores. So if anybody wants to go check out the mamas, make your way to Ocean Shores. You guys are going to be out there.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
Hey, listen, Mama, thank you for joining us. We want to get back and talk to you as the season progresses and check on how you are doing and check on how the boys are doing.
I'm calling in anytime, babe. Just holler.
We are definitely doing it. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
See you later.
Hey, when we come back,
Bye-bye.
since we have been talking about a few controversial things, I love Mama Lynch, by the way.
Gotta love Mama Lynch. Gotta love Mama
We are
Lynch.
going to close out the show. We would be remiss. We would not be the barbershop if we didn't address the issue that happened in Charlottesville. So we are going to talk about it when we come back here on the Barbershop on 950 KJR.
Hey, it's T. Holla. And when I'm not hanging out with you guys here in the barbershop, I'm sitting in an office at my family's financial services company. Sometimes that office space needs some fixing up, and whether that be a new door or a wall, or even if we need a brand new office built, we call EBI. Ellsworth Builders Incorporated is a local construction company that specializes in commercial tenant improvement. Since 1991, EBI has been serving retail outlets, restaurants, auto detail companies, biotech companies throughout the Puget Sound region with all their commercial construction needs. If you want fast, courteous service and high-quality construction work done, call EBI at 425-482-2904, or you can check out the website, ellsworthbuilders.com.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and True, and we are closing out another fun Barbershop show. And we got to close it out with something that's not that fun, but it's very important. And I can't believe you played Will Smith get jiggy with it. As we get ready to talk about Charlottesville, you're going to play get jiggy with it. I cannot get jiggy with this.
Come on, Nathaniel.
Nathan, you got to understand, man. We got to play something somber and serious, man. Just playing with you. It's all good because we know how to handle this. We professionals, right, True?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not really, but
no,
yeah.
we gonna do what we do, man.
Yes, sir.
But it is the Barbershop, and even though we have a lot of fun in here and we talk sports, and I know you're not supposed to talk politics very much when you talk sports, and we're not going to really try to make this very political at all, but we think it's a very important social issue. And in the Barbershop, you talk about social issues, you talk about current events, you talk about things that affect the people in the community that is right around you. And I would be remiss if we did not talk about the tragedy that took place this past weekend in Charlottesville. So over the past weekend, a congregation of white nationalists and neo-Nazis and KKK members gathered together in Charlottesville, Virginia, to protest that city's proposal to tear down the statue of Confederate Army General Robert E. Lee. Now, they showed up that evening on, I think it was a Saturday evening, with tiki torches. They were wearing khaki pants and white polo shirts. They all had the same uniform. and they marched through the streets upon the college campus, and they shouted anti-Semitic chants, homophobic chants, and just simply flat out plain racist chants. They were saying stuff about, Jews won't take my job, and some of the most derogatory things that we cannot repeat on the air right now. And, there was an anti-protest movement that met them, equal and opposite force, that said, hey, we don't want you here. We don't want you involved in our city bringing your hate and your filth. And it turned violent. Punches were thrown, pepper spray, and, it progressed into the next day where the rally continued, and where eventually a 20-year-old young man, who I'm not even going to say his name, give him the dignity of saying his name, he drove his car through a crowd of anti-protesters, and it seriously injured dozens of people, and it ultimately killed a 32-year-old woman, Heather Hare, whose funeral procession was today. And the guy sped away from the scene and was eventually caught and charged with the crime of manslaughter and several other charges. But it was just such carnage and violence and evil being spewed that day and this weekend. And 2 police officers even lost their lives in a helicopter crash. They were surveilling the events that were taking place. So Officer Burke Bates and Jay Collins lost their lives. So it was just a terrible black eye on the country, True. And it just leads me to ask this question of everybody out there and of you. What's going on in our country right now? What's really happening?
Man, I don't know, T. It's crazy out there right now, man. And I think that if it continues to go like this, it's only going to get worse, man. And the division and the tension is only going to escalate. So it's a scary place for our country right now. I see us taking the steps backwards to a place that in my lifetime and in your lifetime, of course, we wasn't a part of.
Right.
That's what these videos and stuff look like. As you looking online, it's, it reminds me of some of the stuff that you seen back in the day, the fire hoses
the
and all that kind of stuff.
The 60s with the German Shepherds and the fire
and
hoses.
all that kind of stuff. It brings up that type of emotion, and it's just a dark place to be in. So I think we need to get a hold of everything that's going on, and I know we're leaning on the president, and it just feels like that we're not getting what we need from him.
Definitely.
Now.
Definitely
so,
not getting that right now.
Where do we turn and what do we do? So I'm looking for it to get nastier. I hope it doesn't, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah, we really just need some leadership. We need somebody to step up and say this is not right. And, there are certain people out there, certain politicians, certain figureheads out there that are stepping up and really denouncing this evil, this scourge, this nasty filth that is really being, it's in – a lot of people are feeling, liberated. A lot of these racists and a lot of these evil people who they're feeling like it's okay for them now, for whatever reason, to poke their heads out. Yeah. And for a long time, a lot of people have always told me, T, you guys are kind of overreacting. This is we live in a post-racial society. We had a black president, man. It's not that big of a deal. And it doesn't seem like, as you go through your day-to-day lives, I guess if you never had to face any of these issues, you would think that it wasn't that big of a deal. But when you see the vitriol, the evil, the violence that was portrayed this past weekend by the number of people that were out there, you see that this is real. And it's not the fact that these guys are out there doing the thing. I'm not concerned about those guys that are out there marching with the torches and doing their thing. What concerns me, True, is that these are the same people that when they leave Charlottesville, Virginia over the weekend, guess what they do? They go right back to wherever they came from. And they're your kid's middle school teacher. Mm-hmm. They're your attorney. They are the banker that decides whether you get the home loan or not. And these are the same people that were just spitting the most evil, racist junk you could ever imagine.
Right.
And to me, that is the reason why we have the Michael Bennetts of the world. That's why we have the Colin Kaepernicks, and that's why we have the Marshawn Lynches, because they are bringing attention to this situation.
And that's why I can't understand why somebody would just be able to say that they can't approve or they don't like what they're doing because it may have something to do with this and that. It's about this issue. It's about nothing else than the racist issues, and it's trying to unify the people that want to be on the, of course, on the right side of it, on the good side of it. But there's always somebody there to throw some salt in it and to make it seem like it's something it's not, or to distract or to divide. But I stand with these guys, man. I stand with Mike B. I stand with Sean. It's just not their issue. It's everybody's issue, and we just need to come together, man, and make it happen.
And I want this to be known, and I want for everybody that's within earshot of my voice, and you can hear me right now, please understand this. The Barbershop, we stand for unity. We don't want to exclude anybody. We want to include everybody, man. That's what this is all about. This is not a place where anybody should feel excluded, whether you stand on the right side of the aisle, the left side of the aisle, whether you're black, white, Asian, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Jew, gay, straight. This is a place for everybody, man. So we want to have open conversations here, even if it's tough, man. So let's go on ahead and do that. Make sure you tune in to the Barbershop every time we are on. Thank you guys for joining us, man. It's been another fun show. We're going to catch up with you next Wednesday, next hump day. Hopefully we can have Marcus have eaten some bacon by then.
No, sir.
We're going to find out if he does or not.
That vegan life, baby.
On behalf of the Barbershop and Marcus Trufant, it's T. Holla signing out from the Barbershop.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Carolina Smoke Barbecue. They're big friends of the show and are conveniently located at 23806 Bothell Everett Highway. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you. Phone number 425-949-8670.